In this video, we're going to look at the wavetable section over on the left here. To start with, I'm going to go to a patch that has nothing but a sine wave here. The humble sine wave. This instrument, specifically this section of the instrument, operates with wavetable playback, and the wavetable system is set up like this. You have 16 different wave shape slots across here. What you would do is you would set up your choice of wave shape from a list of 40 different wave shapes. So right now we're hearing the sine wave. If I change this wave shape to another number, triangle, sawtooth, square wave, and then a host of different wave shapes as you go up the table. I can hear how each wave shape has its own distinct tone color. There are other parameters that you can adjust with each wave shape that you choose, but essentially what I want to do now is set up the sine wave in slot number 1 and go to slot number 2. And when you select the slot, you also have to dial the slot playback position. You see a little line moving there to wave shape number 2. Now that it's set on wave shape number 2, we can play that wave. And select the wave shape choice that you want wavetable position number 2 to play. At this point, I'll just show you a couple of other parameters that are options here. You've got your ratio for tuning, bringing it up to harmonic series, and you have fractional harmonics too, which are nice. You've got the phase position setting here, which basically throws the wave shape out of phase into a different phase offset. Now you've got the Schwarpel value here, that's what I call it, but it's basically going to scrunch the wave a little bit. So it's kind of twisting the wave shape to the left or to the right. Now this is a quantization distortion option here. The undistorted wave versus sort of a squared off kind of lower resolution version of the wave here. And then finally you've got your volume setting down on the right here. This is the wave volume for each specific wave shape. Right now we're on wave shape number 2, and we could make it a little softer if we like. All right. Now across the top here, you've got your octave tuning, semitone tuning, fine tuning, pitch bend range. Now this is a unison spread option here, which allows you to have multiples of the wave playing if you switch it into monophonic mode. In monophonic mode, you can hear the sound getting thicker as we add more unison voices and detune each voice. Which adds a nice chorusing effect. And then this is your portamento value. Right. There's also an additional chorus unit which you can add, which is actually set up on the second page of the display here. A few parameters that didn't really fit onto the main page. And this allows you to have a nice chorusing effect. Right. Now back to the wavetable business here. Because you have several wave shapes that you set up, one in each wave slot, remember to rotate the wave position player here. Each slot holds your wave shape choice and the specific parameter tweaks that you've made for that particular entry in the wavetable. So you get a really nice morphing effect that happens when one sweeps across the wavetable, either manually or by automating the sweep process with a variety of control devices over here. These control devices consist of things like the envelope generator. So for instance, if we wanted to use envelope generator 2 to perform an automated sweep across the wavetable here, thus selecting and morphing between the different wave shapes that you have selected, then that would be set up in the router right here. So we say envelope generator 2 controls wave shape selection with a positive or a negative interpretation of the envelope shape. If we choose a positive interpretation, then the envelope generator here, which has a nice manually adjustable decay slope here, creates a one-shot sweep across the wavetable. So you hear the morphing effect, and you see the wave shape selection line move every time I press the key. You also have velocity sensing here too, so if you hit the key harder, you can create more of a deviation in the initial selection. Light key press there just didn't move it as nearly as far as the harder hit. Now there are other ways to transform the wave shape selection. And the nice one here is the wavetable sequencer, which is here, the event table. So you have a 16-step sequence. You can change the number of steps, have it lower than 16 if you like. And you simply draw across here to produce the selection process. This vertical height means wave shape choice. There are several other ways to set up a wave shape modulation here. There's a low frequency oscillator built in here, and these devices are synchronizable to your clock of your sequencer. You can set them up to continuously loop. You can set them up to be triggered from a key depression or to just run free, and you can set up those variations in here. There's also a little recorder in here, so you can record the movements of the wheel. So right now that's it playing back the sequence of the mod wheel movement that I recorded into its recorder. So every time I press a key, you get the pattern of modulation that was recorded in here. Now you could have that, for instance, target the cutoff point of the internal filter as well. So if you want to go to the continuous controller number 1. Here you can have the cutoff point of the filter controlled by the little modulation sequence that was recorded here. So that every note triggers one of these repetitions of the sequence. You can also have it continuously loop. Right. In addition, up here there's a distortion section which allows you to add a little bit of grit and an interesting harmonic distortion to the wave shapes. A few different distortion types.